Hi, I'm Rabney of The Conscious Plate. I'm a coach, a chef, and an expert on teaching people how to eat real food easily on a regular basis. And this is how to make a roasted fennel and white bean dip. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with fennel, I want to show you what it looks like when it's in its raw state. It has this nice big bulb at the bottom, and then it has these very leafy, almost grass-like pieces at the top called fronds, which is easily confused with the herb dill. If you've ever seen dill, it looks a lot like fennel, but the flavor is completely different. Fennel actually has this sweet licorice-like flavor, and it pairs absolutely beautifully with white beans. What I've done with this fennel today is I've actually removed the bulb from the bottom. I've cut out that hard core that's in the center, and I cut it up, put it on a sheet pan with some extra virgin olive oil and sea salt, and I roasted it in a 450-degree oven. So the fennel is now soft, and it's actually sweeter and milder. So let's get started on our dip. This is a food processor, and in my food processor, I have some white beans, and the white beans that I'm using are cannellini beans. It's a very creamy bean. It's going to be great for our dip. It's going to be absolutely perfect. And I'm actually using beans from a can today. I'm using organic beans that are cooked without any added salt, and they're in a can that are PBA free. That's very important. If you want to use beans that you didn't make on your own, either buy them in a jar or make sure that your can is PBA free. And to that, I'm going to add 1 small clove of garlic. I love the flavor of garlic in here, but I want to make sure that I don't use too much because raw garlic can be very strong and I don't like my food to bite me back. The next thing I'm going to add is a little bit of acid. And I'm using 2 kinds of acid today. And the reason why I'm adding the acid is because it's going to brighten the dip. So I'm using a little bit of fresh lemon juice, and I'm using a little bit of balsamic vinegar. The balsamic is going to give this sweet depth of flavor. Now, in addition to fennel being a great partner for white beans, rosemary is another perfect pair. So I'm going to add some rosemary. And notice, I'm not chopping anything. I'm just taking these leaves off of the very woody stem. The food processor is going to break everything down for us. We don't have to worry about that. And now I'm just going to get this started. I'm going to give it a little process just to get it going. And now let's add our fennel. So this is actually 2 bulbs of roasted fennel. Just going to put this in. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of unrefined sea salt because you can always add more later. You can't take it out. And remember, our beans were made without salt, so there isn't any salt in here other than what I put on the fennel. Now the last thing I'm going to add is just some really good extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to add a pretty generous amount. And then we're going to put this back on again and puree. Now it's up to you if you like texture. If you want to go further, you can make it creamier. If you want to leave a little texture, you can make it chunkier. Now I just want to taste it to make sure there's enough salt, because remember, I didn't put much in here. That tastes really good, but I think I'm going to do just a teeny bit more. Now just another quick buzz. And I'm back for a second taste. Perfect. I've tasted it and the seasoning's perfect. And now I'm going to plate it. So I'm just putting it in this pretty bowl, and we can garnish it with some of these fennel fronds. And there we have our dip. I'm Rabney of The Conscious Plate, and this is how to make a roasted fennel and white bean dip.